Mr. President, I want to rise today and associate myself with the remarks of my colleague, Senator Shaheen, that she delivered earlier today. She's a fierce supporter of our men and women in uniform, both while they serve our nation and when they retire or leave the military. And I'm an original co-sponsor of her Military Retirement Restoration Act, and I'm also supportive of passing a bipartisan budget deal that prevents our government from shutting down and prevents our defense budget from being slashed. Mr. President, the American people have made it very clear, crystal clear, in fact, that they're tired of gridlock here in Washington. They're tired of the partisan bickering. They're tired of the fact that that's led us to sequestration and the kind of crisis budgeting that's prevented us from getting our fiscal house in order. Now, like I think every one of us, I don't support every provision in the bipartisan budget agreement, but I want to give great credit to Senator Murray and Congressman Ryan for their willingness to sit down together, negotiate in good faith, and come up with a deal that moves our country forward. Let me make it clear that the budget compromise is not perfect, but it's far better than the alternative. And let's be clear what the alternative is: a $20 billion sequester cut to the Department of Defense on January 15th and a much higher likelihood of another government shutdown. Our country simply can't afford more ideological standoffs that lead nowhere. And our men and women in uniform and our national security cannot afford to see those catastrophic cuts. Now, like many of my colleagues, I believe we should find an alternative to the decreases in the cost of living adjustments for working-age military retirees. And that's, again, why I'm proud to co-sponsor Senator Shaheen's legislation, which would do just that. And I'm also committed to working with Chairman Levin and my other colleagues on the Senate Armed Services Committee to continue to find additional ways to protect the retirement that our retirees and their families have earned. Now, these proposed changes don't go into effect, Mr. President, until 2015, and that gives us some room and some time to get together to work on addressing these areas where this bipartisan budget agreement falls short. This is an important agreement. It's important to the Defense Department. It's important to many other programs like Head Start and Meals on Wheels that affect Coloradans every day. It will mean more resources for housing and economic development programs, for roads, small airports, for first responders and those who fight wildfires. The list goes on. And this agreement provides predictability for the individuals, organizations, cities, and businesses in Colorado who need to know what to expect from the federal government. And it does all of this, Mr. President, while providing for a net reduction in the deficit, something we all know must be achieved more often. So, Mr. President, for all those reasons, I support the bipartisan budget package and urge my colleagues to join me in continuing to find ways to keep faith with our military retirees and their families.